Hi, this is Tom Painter, and this is how to manage your money on one piece of paper. Now, the biggest problem with money management is that people run out of money before they run out of month. The solution is the money management is to run out of month before you run out of money. The system must be so simple you can manage it on one piece of paper. We use this with a money tracker, and the goal is to help you pace your spending through the month. Now, after the month is over, you can put your expenses into QuickBooks or some other way, but our real goal is to help you pace yourself. Now, when we teach the kids and teens, we use the 5 steps. Make money, separate your money, give to church and charity, save and invest, which is watering your money tree, and to spend the rest. We're going to take those same 5 steps and we're going to break them down and get into a little more detail. So step number 1 is to make money. Now, in this system that we have, you're going to have multiple ways of making money. You might have a job, your spouse might have a job, you might have multiple jobs. So we want to take how much revenue comes into our family on a monthly basis. Step number 2 is we need to separate it. And again, the way we do this is the money comes in, money goes out, it needs to be equal to 0. So any money that's coming in, we want to separate it and determine where that money is going to go. Step number 3 is to give to charity. And this is where you're going to come up with the different churches and charities that you want to give to, and this is your goal for how much you want to give that month. Number 4 is to save and invest. Some of it you'll put into your long-term savings account, the emergency account, and the rest of it, our goal is to put that into our long-term investment account. Then you get into step number 5, which is to spend. Now there's 2 kinds of spend accounts. There's one that is a fixed expense. This could be a mortgage or a car payment or insurance or something that's going to happen on a monthly basis. You know how much it is, and it might happen for a year or more. And then, of course, there's the variable expenses, things that can change on a day and a weekly basis. For the most part, your goal is to be able to figure out what all this is, and then your goal is then to live off the variable, which is the very last number. Now, it all flows to a really cool chart like this, and you can see that it is the same 5 steps down the left side of there. The next column is the days of the month. You can see it goes from 1 to 31. And we cheat a little bit. We actually put 4 more days in the month. There's actually 35 days in every month. Most people don't know that. But as we're pacing our money, we're going to make sure that you have a little money at the end to make sure that you have extra money for emergencies or stuff like that. Now, the way the system works is, number 1 is you fill out your money tracker. We're going to put the expenses in each of those categories: the make it, the give it, the invest it, and of course the spending of fixed and variable expenses. And then step number 2 is we're going to adjust those numbers back and forth so that it equals. The money coming in is going to be the money going out. We're separating our money and determining where our money is going to go. The real goal is to put more money into the save and invest account as much as you can, but we also need to be able to live our life. Now, what happens is that for the most part, after that's been said, then the next piece is to do step number 3, which is to fill out your variable expenses. And I learned something from my father-in-law, and when I asked him, if, for courtesy, if it was okay if I married his daughter, I asked him for some advice too, and he's been wonderful to give me advice over the years. And he says that there's money that comes into the family from his job, and then he has a checking account, and he has certain responsibilities of things that he's supposed to do. And then his wife has her own checking account. And they decide how much money is going to go into her checking account each month. And she has expenses that she's responsible for. And he doesn't tell her how to spend the money. She has a certain amount of money that goes in there, and then they decide which responsibilities that she's going to take care of. There's certain responsibilities he's going to take care of. For example, it's his job to make sure there's gas in the car, that the cars are serviced, that the insurance is paid, things like that. But the variable expenses take care of the family. In this case, the mom is responsible for those. So the variable expenses all go into that section. And then you'll notice then that each of those flow to another part of a thermometer, which actually goes down. So in this example, let's say that you've allocated $200 for food, $100 for school expenses. And if you'll see that, you take the 200 and it's going to be divided up over 35 days. And so that's just really kind of the pacing of it. And anytime that you spend money, we're going to subtract it. So this isn't that much different than the program I created for the kids and teens. And so in this example, let's say that we start with a budget of $200. And we go out and we spend $40, so now we're down to $160. We spend an additional $40, now we're down to $120. And we spend another $50, so now we're down to about $70. And so it doesn't matter where you spend the money, it's just gone. I'm not trying to go detail, I'm just trying to say this is how much money you spend in that category. You can do this while you're standing in line at the pay station. Again, we're not tracking everything, we're just pacing how much money you spent. And we do that for each category. Let's say that in the next category that you spent some money, we start out with 100, we spent $10, that means our thermometer's down to 90, we spend another chunk, goes down to 80, spend another chunk and it goes down to 70. And so your thermometers, of course, are going down. Now, the key to all this is to figure out how well you're doing. For example, in this one, in this first section, we're down to $70. We have $70 left. And in this example, let's say that it's the 15th of the month. So in the first column, it's the 15th of the month. You're spending money faster in your thermometer in that first category. Now, the second category, your school budget's okay. You've only spent $70. And it's the 15th of the month, so the months are going, the days of the month are going faster than you're spending it. All we're doing is helping you to pace it. And you'll notice we put 4 days at the end of the month to have 35 days, just so there's some extra slush money at the very end of the month. So the step 2 then is to figure out your money. And with our small businesses, we're going to decrease our expenses and our taxes. Our goal is to make some extra money, but also not to spend so much money on taxes and get some of that money back. And if we have credit card debt, then we're going to start putting more money to the credit card debt, getting that paid off quicker. And also we want to increase our contributions to our 401k. And you're going to do that up to whatever your employer's doing a match. And then I highly recommend that you open up a Roth IRA. And we've talked about that in previous classes as well. So that's the next stage, that's step number 7. And so the goal is to manage your money, get it into the categories that you need, and make sure you got a little bit extra money, because the whole goal is to be able to have that extra capital and the extra cash to put it up into your save and invest. Now, it doesn't matter if you use a credit card, debit card, cash, or check, you're still spending the money. It doesn't matter what you spend on, it's still going out the door. The real key is to get as much money as you can into number 4, which is your long-term saving and investing. Again, this is Tom Painter, and this has been How to Manage Your Money on One Piece of Paper.